Hello guys, before I get into this video, I just want to appreciate the UK bakers right now because this heat wave is no joke. If you got a cake from a baker this weekend, send them a message and tell them you love them because I almost died in this kitchen. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to be decorating a graduation cake. The flavor is vanilla sponge with a mock Swiss meringue, vanilla buttercream, and some strawberry jam in the middle. And this is 8 inches. The cake is quite tall as well. I made it 4 layers and it will feed around 35 to 40 people, depending how big the slices are. So yeah, it was very, very heavy. I decided to bake my cakes in the early morning thinking, it's a lot cooler. Oh boy, was I wrong. The minute I turned that oven on, the sweat started to drip. And before anyone says, oh my gosh, it's not even that hot in the UK, listen to me. Our country was not built for this type of heat. We live in brick houses and we have no AC. So it was a lot, but regardless, I got it done. For those who want to continue using buttercream in this hot weather, a little tip for you is to replace some of your butter in your buttercream with shortening. So for me, instead of using 1,000 grams of butter, I used 800 grams of butter and 200 grams of shortening, and this will increase the stability of your buttercream and it will last a lot longer in hotter climates. While my crumb coat was setting in the fridge, I got to work on the grad cap. So I always make the skeleton out of cardstock. 1, because it's easier, and 2, there's no chance of it potentially collapsing on you. So happy days. But I always start with a thin piece of fondant and then I wet the back and stick the cardstock on, and then I do the exact same thing to the other side. I do both sides so that it's thicker and balanced. I also covered the round part in fondant. I just lost the clip of that. But once everything was done, I got to work on the little button, which is super easy to do. You just want to get a small piping tip and punch it into a thick piece of fondant and stick it on top, and you got a button. How cute is this grad cap? And it's really easy to do. It took me less than 30 minutes. I forgot to mention, but I did add CMC to my fondant just so that it would set up nicely. But now it's time for my final coat. I feel like a lot of my recent cakes have been white. Wait, let me go check my TikTok. Okay, suspicion confirmed. Apart from that berry cake, all of the cakes this past week have been white. I wonder why. But I'm not complaining because it's always good to have white buttercream in the freezer. But I just smoothed it out with my smoother, and my buttercream was so well behaved. Like, I was so scared that the heat would cause some trouble, but no, she was well behaved. I love that. Now it's time for the piping. Here I'm using my 4B tip for the shells, and I actually waited until the sun had set before I started decorating. And I did this because your buttercream needs to be at a very specific consistency to pipe well. And if you're trying to pipe in the heat, your hands already produce a lot of heat. There'll be no definition in the shells. So after every border, I would check the consistency. And if it was a bit too runny, I'll just put my piping bag in the fridge for like 5 minutes, take it out and continue. I know it's long, but this is what you gotta do if you're piping in these conditions. Anyway, my customer has sent me a picture of her tassel that she wore to her graduation, and it was this really nice royal blue color, which was almost impossible to match, by the way. But yeah, I added a royal blue trim to the top and bottom borders, and then I used my number 2 piping tip to pipe these teeny tiny hearts all over the cake. And this did take a while because, like I said, this cake is huge. But I just continued going round and round until I got back where I started, and here is how that came out. Super, super cute. But now onto the grad cap. At this point, it was nice and dry, and I did stick the top on with a bit of extra buttercream. Initially, I was going to make the tassel out of fondant, but I thought it would be a really cute idea to buy the exact same one that she had as like a little commemoration or something. But the tassel was way too big, so I literally had to DIY this and make it mini. Took forever, but we did it. For the writing, she wanted it to say 4 years later, and whenever I'm using dark buttercream on a white cake, I always like to write in white first and then go over it with the darker buttercream. That way, if I make a mistake, it's really easy to pick it off without disrupting the white buttercream underneath. But after I added some glitter, here is a final spin of the cake. She's cute, right? So cute. When I showed my customer the cake, she was so shocked and excited about the tassel. She didn't know I was going to add a real one, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's my tassel. How did you get it on there? Oh, I just love little surprises like that. But let me know what you guys think of this cake, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, cuties.